latest figures show that there are approximately 2.3 million separated families in Great Britain, with 3.6 million children. So if that includes you, how do you navigate the summer holidays, sharing time, children, responsibilities across households, even across the country? Jeya is on the line. Jeya, hello. We're not using your real name. You have 3 children with your ex-husband. How are you coping with the holiday planning?
Hiya, thank you. So my situation with my ex-husband is we divorced 4 years ago. And the communication and the relationship isn't the best. So we have a court order in place which has some contact in there, but it's not very much. So what I do is, and also whatever contact is in there, he doesn't tend to stick to it either. He cancels and he tries to make changes at short notice. So what I do is I just assume that is all on me, and that way I'm covered. And I know, as someone just mentioned, that's difficult to do because we don't have enough holiday to cover the school year. But what I do is in the school year, I tend to not use the holiday until the summer, and then I take off a whole month. And that way I just know that I don't have to worry about childcare. And then in the other holidays, like Christmas and Easter, I just try to get by as best as I can. I work from home, so and the children are a little bit older. So I just kind of make do with what I can, I guess. And in terms of planning with my ex-husband, I do try. And as I've said, communication isn't the best, but I try where I can. And I don't tend to get very much back. But where possible, I do try to do that with him. We've got to the point now where we have a daily call every Sunday where we'll talk about plans. And we've also recently started co-parenting therapy as well. And this is through a professional organisation, which is a little bit like marriage counselling, but it's for co-parents. And that's really helped with our communication. And then therefore that's really helped with kind of contact arrangements during holidays as well. So it's getting better. But I think in summary, I tend to just assume it's all on me. And that way I can't really, there's no room for kind of not having childcare in place.
We should say the Asian Single Parents Network has given you some support as well with that. Kate, the whole kind of being amicable and working together has to not just be part of the divorce, doesn't it? It has to kind of be borne out. It has to be practiced.
Absolutely. I mean, that's why people try to have an amicable divorce, because if you've got kids, you've got a relationship forever. And, it's all very well when you've got lots of professionals supporting you through the divorce, but ultimately they step away and you are left to try and build back a relationship sometimes so that you can co-parent your children. And it's very frustrating when, the comms breaks down or one partner changes things or doesn't sort of step up and fulfill their half of the bargain. But in those cases, things like a co-parenting app, we have an Amicable co-parenting app, they can help as well because it keeps all the communication in one place. So rather than having lots of messages spread out through your WhatsApp where you lose them and you can't remember who's agreed to do what, a co-parenting app has everything in one place for you. You can see calendars, shared calendars and schedules. You can see what's been agreed. And it's easily then to refer back and sometimes easier to hold your partner to account. But it is frustrating for lots of parents, and getting things kicked off on the right foot by having the conversations around co-parenting is really important. So coming up with a co-parenting plan when you do first separate can pay dividends in the future because you've done some of the legwork. And if you're doing the legwork when it's not a pressing issue and you're not all het up and steamed up about something that's happening right now, it's much easier to set out the principles of how you want your co-parenting relationship to be. And it's for the good of your kids. They will thank you for this because what they need to see is a good co-parenting team. Even if you're not happy together, don't like the sight of each other, anything like that, it's about just being there and being a solid co-parenting team if you can.
Jeya, is there anything you'd like to ask in terms of to Dr. Lisa Doodson or to Kate for any advice?
I know that Dr. Lisa just mentioned about starting off on the right foot and being amicable, and I 100% agree with that. And I wish someone had given us that advice at the beginning. But when you are going through a breakup, it's really high emotions and a lot of conflict and disagreement. So I completely agree. I think I'd just like to say I completely agree that will pay dividends later. We have an app. We use Google Calendar for everything, and I put everything in there so that my ex-husband's completely aware. But with all the will in the world, no matter how many apps we have or anything we have, if that person is set on making life difficult for the mother or the other parent by cancelling arrangements or changing, it's not going to help. It is a good tool to have, but you have to have both parents wanting to, both being invested in making sure that the children are going to be looked after and well and having contact. But I think in terms of management for the holidays, I think for me, I just assume it's all on me, and I deal with it that way.
Hard.
But we have got to the point now where we have a weekly catch up every Sunday at 6:00. We have 5 minutes on the phone where we go through the whole week, all the holidays, and say, right, what are we doing every day? And I know that's not ideal because it's a week in advance, and most people need to plan more. But that's the best I can manage with him in his situation. So I just make the best of that kind of situation I'm in.
Well, you can only do the best you're going to do, aren't you? Lisa, have you got 10 seconds of advice before I go?
I would just say that time can help. So things might get better. Keep doing what you do. Try and set more control boundaries. So if you could drop off at his, maybe you could sort of change things around